Hi everybody, welcome back to our channel. So if you clicked on this video, that means you are now going to embark on a journey with me in the process of getting a mini tummy tuck. So to back up a little bit of why I wanted to do this, back in 2017, I had my first son and I had a cesarean procedure done to have him. So we had some complications during that pregnancy. So we went ahead and did the C-section. And after I had him, because we were in the NICU for so long and I was like so stressed and just exhausted, I lost a lot of weight. I went right back to what I was. I was actually, he never breastfed, but I did pump for him. So I just lost all the weight quickly. And actually, I think I gained, so when I first started with Christian, my pre-pregnancy weight was 125. When I went into the hospital to deliver, I was 155. So right after I delivered him, I think 1 week out, I was back to 125. So I had lost all the weight. And then we were living in Virginia at that time, and I was just very stressed. I wasn't eating. And then when we brought him home, and I was like kind of dealing with a lot of my emotions with that, there was a lot of turbulent emotions and feelings with a child who's sick, and you just trying to survive really with your child who's sick. So I gained a whole bunch of weight. Actually, I got up to 155, and that wasn't fun. And I didn't even notice I had gotten that big because I don't know, you can see your pants aren't fitting, you can see your shirt's getting tight, but you just kind of like are in denial almost. And then I saw a photo of myself. I remember we went to church and they took like a family photo of us and they sent it to me, and I was humiliated. So I started trying to lose weight, and then I dropped down to 130, and I wanted to get pregnant again. This was 2 years out from Christian's birth, and so I wanted to get pregnant again, and I couldn't, not at all. I was struggling to get pregnant, so I ended up being on metformin. They diagnosed me with PCOS, which I guess we didn't catch the first time around, but I do have PCOS. They did a ultrasound of my belly, and I guess with PCOS, all your eggs line your uterus, I think. And so that's how they were able to diagnose me. So they put me on metformin, and I tried and I tried and I tried. I couldn't get pregnant, so I was kind of defeated. And lo and behold, as soon as I give up, we, ended up getting pregnant with James. So with James, I think my weight when I got pregnant with James was 130. And I only gained 11 pounds throughout my entire pregnancy with James. So when I went in to deliver by C-section, it was a scheduled C-section, I was like 142, but it was really not funny. It was quite stressful during that pregnancy. But I ended up with gestational diabetes. So it was so bad that I actually had to be put on insulin. So I was doing nightly insulin shots, and I wasn't eating carbs. I wasn't eating any sugars. Like, I was really, really strict because I had gone through so much with Christian and his pregnancy that like, I just felt like a failure again. Like, my body just is not it's not housing my children correctly. It's not, I'm not able to grow children the way a normal mother would. I know that's a sad way to look at it, and woe is me concept, but I just really felt like a failure for a second time. So I was really hard on myself. I cut any and all, like I said, sugars and carbs out, and that's really when I started transforming from pre-James pregnancy. I was really trying to lose weight, and during James's pregnancy is really when I started focusing on just like lifestyle changes. So, eating spaghetti squash instead of pasta, and eating low carb tortillas. I do cauliflower rice instead of rice now. So that was like really when I started to like understand that this has to be a lifestyle change. If I, by nature I'm Mexican, and I think that a lot of that exposes me to a lot of health concerns anyway, high blood pressure, diabetes, things that run on both sides of my family. So I really needed to make lifestyle changes so that I could be there for my boys as they grew. So anyways, I went into labor, or had my scheduled C-section, and I was 142. And with James, I started noticing I had a little bit of stretch marks. Not a lot. I think there's only like 3 over here, but still I didn't have that with Christian, even though I gained more weight with Christian. And I delivered James. It was a very exciting, happy moment for me because, with Christian, as soon as I delivered him, they rolled him out into the NICU versus James. He got to be in the room with us, and it was just like a completely different experience. And I'm so blessed that I got to have that experience I didn't get to have with Christian. But anyways, this wasn't supposed to be about all that. But after I had James, since it was my second C-section, I ended up getting like this flub right where that C-section scar is at on my belly. And I'll show you guys a little bit of what I'm talking about as I go through this video. But I ended up with like this like fanny pack of fat, and I didn't breastfeed or pump at all for James. I ended up just doing formula because I had to get back to work. And that's fine, you know, he's healthy and happy and growing, and you know, neither here nor there. But I didn't end up losing that weight as quickly. Actually, I think I did. I think I'm lying to you guys. I think I did drop back down to, I think it was like 133 1 week after having James. And then I lost the weight. It got down to 124. And that's like my happy place is like 125. And then I kind of bounce around the 10 pounds. So like right now, actually I'm at 135. So I play with 10 pounds, but for the most part, by and large, 125 is my happy place. When I start getting, 10 pounds heavier like I am now, I'm trying to reel it in a bit. But even when I lost all my pre-baby weight and got back to my ideal weight, I still had this fat that I just couldn't get rid of at all, and it was like bothering me. And that was 2 years ago. So I've just really been struggling with like my body in general. Not that I don't want any fat on me, because I kind of like my curves. It took me until my later 20s, and I'm in my younger 30s right now, but it took me a while to really like myself and be proud of what I can offer. I know that sounds crazy, but I really feel like my 30s are like my prime years where I'm just okay with myself. I used to not like how I looked without makeup, and now I think I look gorgeous without makeup. Or I used to like any fat on my body, I'd be like super self-conscious. I would try to like crash diet, whatever I could do. Now I'm like, no, like I'm okay having a little bit of extra weight on me. It doesn't bother me, and I'm happy and I'm healthy, and I'm really learning to like each stage of myself. And I know that this sounds like an oxymoron, but with all that, I also struggle with like this fat that is over my underwear and over my pants, and I have to like pull up my pants to hide it, and I really struggle with that, and I don't like looking at myself. And that also affects my marriage, because I don't want Han to look at me, and Han thinks I'm just the most gorgeous thing that he's ever seen. So he's very supportive of me, and actually it took me a while to convince him to allow me to have this surgery. Not that I need his permission, but at the same token, like we're a team, and he didn't think I should change anything about myself. But when he realized like this was like really affecting me, because it's not just fat, it's something I can't get rid of. Like I just can't get rid of this part of me. No dieting is gonna fix it, So anyways, the beginning of the year, which was 2022, in January, I scheduled a consultation with like a really awesome plastic surgeon, highly rated, board certified, winning all sorts of awards. And we went in there, and Han took off and I took off when we went to the appointment. And he was explaining that I should get a full tummy tuck, which would be cutting from one side of the hip to the other side, opening me up. He would have to reconstruct my abs back together, because a lot of times with pregnancies, your abs kind of separate a little bit. So he would reconstruct my abs back together, pull out all the fat, and then do lipo on all my stomach, and then suture me back up. And in doing that, he would have to reconstruct my belly button. So it sounded like there was going to be a belly button scar, and then a scar from one side of the belly, or one side of the hip to the other side. I was like, oh man, I don't know if I want to do all that, just because I'm unhappy with like this fat I have on my belly. And then so the appointment went well, but when we sat down to talk about the financial burden of it, it was $17,000. $17,000. I get it. I'm 135 right now. My ideal is 125. So I'm 10 pounds heavier than I want to be. But $17,000, like I was not prepared for that type of burden. And so I felt really sad and discouraged, thinking, okay, I guess, I'm not going to be able to get the surgery. I'm just going to have to live with, what my body looks like. But then I was talking to some girls that I work with, people I just adore, and they're like, no, go get another consultation. That is extremely high. That doesn't make sense. Just go get another consultation. So I started calling around, and one of the plastic surgeons I called was like, no, we don't do any abdominoplasty. I think that's what it's called. But I highly recommend such and such. So they gave me a phone number to a plastic surgeon that does tummy tucks and mini tummy tucks and lipo in that area. And I called and I scheduled, and that was back in March, I believe, beginning of March. And I just had the appointment this past week, which was June 20th. So I went in there. The plastic surgeon was super nice. He was so handsome, which is unfortunate when your surgeon's looking at all the worst parts of you, the parts you hate of yourself. But very good looking guy, beautiful family from all the photos and stuff. But anyways, I was explaining to him, I've gone through this before. This was, you know, what they recommended, and this was the price they gave me, and I'm not comfortable with that. You know, what do you think? So he looked at my body, and he saw that I don't have a lot of excess fat and skin, but it's really that targeted area. So he was like blown away that I was quoted $17,000. But he said that there's 3 options. It was and I have my little brochure here. There was Vaser, which is just liposuction. There was a mini tummy tuck and a major tummy tuck. So the Vaser liposuction, he said he could really hit that target spot, but because my skin has kind of stretched out a little bit since I've had both the boys, he didn't know if it would completely take it away. He said that was option 1. He said it was still ideal, you know, if I wanted to go that route. He said no scarring, like the little holes that the little needle that they put in there to pull the fat out just ends up being like little scars of like freckles. He said it looks like little moles or freckles. He said the second option would be the mini tummy tuck, which be where they cut from side to side, but it's more on my pelvic bone. They would remove the C-section scar I have right now, pull the fat down, and then they would lipo around that. He said it doesn't take care of anything on the upper half, but the lower half will be gone, and that's really what I'm looking for. I don't think I need a lot done at the upper half, but the lower half is really my struggle area. And then he said option 3, which would be the tummy tuck, and he felt confident that it would still be the same thing where I'd be cut from side to side of my hips and then reconstructing my belly button, but he felt very confident that there wouldn't be any scarring or anything from that. But I don't know. I guess I was just like so blown away from the first consultation that I didn't want the tummy tuck at all, the full tummy tuck. So I personally went ahead and I'm moving forward with the mini tummy tuck. So instead of doing all of my stomach, which is the full tummy tuck, he did have me lay down. He had me do a couple of like ab workouts so that he could kind of feel my tummy and see, you know, what my abs felt like. And he said that I'm a good candidate for mini tummy tuck. He said, you know, there's not a lot of reconstruction of the abs that he thinks I need to do. And if I do, it's something that I can work on at home versus, you know, them reconstructing it. So anyways, he gave me this little pamphlet and we went through pricing. So I wanted to talk to you guys about pricing. So with the Vaser, I was quoted $6,400. And that would be where they did the liposuction on my belly, kind of get rid of all that fat that I had there. Then the mini tummy tuck, which I'm going to be getting, is $7,500. And then the major tummy tuck would be $9,800. So there's not a huge price difference between just the liposuction and then the mini tummy tuck. I mean, you're really looking at $1,100 difference between the Vaser liposuction and the mini tummy tuck. And then the major tummy tuck is, you know, $2,200 more. So kind of priced similarly, not like drastic differences in pricing, but I could digest these prices way more than the first plastic surgeon I had gone to. So yeah, so the one I'm going to be getting is $7,500, and that's everything. So that's my pre-op appointments, my post-op appointment. $7,500 is the anesthesiologist. He's separate from the plastic surgeon, and they have their clinic in-house with the nurses that they have there who are, you know, plastic surgeon nurses. So I'm not paying a whole bunch of different fees on top of the lump sum he asked for. This is all part of the $7,500, which I really appreciated. So pricing, why I want to get it done, what my expectations are. I guess, so what I was telling him, my plastic surgeon, is I'm okay with my body. I like my body. It's taken me a long time to be in this place where I'm healthy for the most part. I'm not shoving bad food in my mouth all the time, but I'm also not restricting myself and, holding myself to a high standard of like, salads every day, all day. I'm, working out. I'm not working out, but I go to the gym, I think 4 times a week, and I'm pretty much just on an incline walking, and I will gradually start getting more and more into like weight training stuff. I mean, I was always into weight training. I just kind of stopped, and I want lifestyle changes. I don't want to go burn myself out, lose the 10-15 pounds, and then in 6 months gain it all back. I really am looking, in the last 3 years, I've proven that I can keep the weight off. I can fluctuate a little bit with, the 10 pounds, the 5 pounds. But really, like, I'm looking to, like, just enjoy my life and the lifestyle changes I've made. So, I was telling the plastic surgeon that that's my ideal plan. I don't need to be flat stomach, chiseled, I don't need to look Instagrammy. I'm okay with none of that. I just want to get rid of that one part of me that I didn't have pre-pregnancy, that it seems that after 2 C-sections, I now have. And actually talking to the surgeon, he was looking at my stomach, he said, you could lose 100 pounds. And he was like, not that you need to, but you could lose 100 pounds and you would still have this because it's a pocket of fat you can't get rid of. And him saying that made me realize, like, okay, it's super discouraging when you're losing weight and trying to like make changes for your body and you just have like this bill of fat. So, 7,500 is not a cheap cost. It is, expensive. And with family and stuff, there's a guilt of spending that much. I have to be honest, like it doesn't feel good to ask my family to go spend 7,500. Is it gonna break the bank? No. But is that money that I really need to spend on myself? No. But is it gonna help me be happy? Yes. And I know that that's so superficial, and I struggle with this, I struggle with being selfish in this sense, because it does feel selfish, but I know I'll be happy afterward.
Hey everyone, so I'm jumping on here real quick because I was editing this and I just felt like I wasn't getting my point across correctly, and I might have misspoke when I kept using the word happy. It's not that I think that this is going to give me happiness, and that would be an unrealistic goal if that was the expectation I had from this procedure. I really am very happy with life. I feel good about where I'm at. I love my family, love my friends. I'm in a good place. I really think I'm trying to purvey here that my self esteem will be significantly better. My confidence, my ability to look in the mirror, not be embarrassed of what I see. That's really what I hope to achieve from getting this procedure. But happiness was not an objective that I'm looking to gain. And I know that I can't get that through any type of procedure like this, any cosmetic surgery. I don't think I did a good job explaining that here, but I really want to take the moment to say that, and clarify that this is a cosmetic confidence, self-esteem procedure, not happiness. All right, back to the video.
I've had family and friends who have gotten procedures done, and everybody's super supportive, and they're saying like, you won't regret this, and I know it won't, but it's tough to move forward with this. It's not like I'm getting my boobs done or my nose done. It's something that I didn't have pre-pregnancy that I have now, that makes me super self-conscious, and I just think that I'll be more confident once it's removed. So what's next is next week, so this coming Wednesday, I have a pre-op appointment where I'm sure weight and everything that goes into pre-op. They'll write me my prescriptions, and then July 19th is my tummy tuck. So super exciting, kind of nerve-wracking, but I look forward to it. I'm sure I will take you guys along with the journey, the before and the after. before makes me so self-conscious to put that out to the world, but hey, I've been looking nonstop at videos and I know that they're super helpful. If there's anything you have questions about or want to know, or you know, what your experience is, or just along for the journey and see how it ends, I'll be documenting everything as we go, until I guess next week. I'll do probably a follow-up video, and until next week.